Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you, Santa Ana Pueblo, for welcoming all of us on their homeland. Thank you. I also want to thank you, Mayani, for inviting me here today to speak about the Office of Indian Energy. I'm grateful that I can be here with all of you in person. It's amazing how something simple as gathering is so powerful. Thank you for letting me be here with you. I ask for our protection and for all of us to get home safely to our families. My name is Tweedie Doe. I have been with the Department of Energy for just over 12 years, and about a third of that time with the Office of Indian Energy. And before that, I was born and raised for the first 10 years of my life in Vietnam. Before I came here, you may be familiar with the war that happened between Vietnam and the US, and that's why I'm here. Before DOE, I also then went to school at the University of Washington to study political science and international economics at the University of Denver, and that's how I ended up in Denver. I started my career as a statistician. I also worked at the Council of Energy Resource Tribes, CERT. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, under the leadership of David Lester. And that's when I first had the awesome opportunity to learn about Indian country and work with tribal leaders on energy resource development. And that's how I got here today. I hope the information that I provide today will be useful to you in as you consider solar development for your communities. I'll start with some background on tribal energy and the Office of Indian Energy. Then I'll provide some information on our programs and resources to build on the information that you have heard about, what's involved with solar development between yesterday and today. Oh, I think I should be clicking the slide here, sorry. There you go, there's the agenda that I just mentioned. All right, before I talk about the Office of Indian Energy, I want to provide just a little bit of background on who we serve. Our constituents are the 574 federally recognized tribes, the 200 plus Native Alaska Village corporations, and the 13 Alaska Native regional corporations. Now, since the Energy Pact of 2005, we have additional constituents. They have been added to include intertribal organizations and tribal energy resource development organizations. This table that's on the screen there is a table from the Techno-Economic Renewable Energy Potential on Tribal Lands report. That is the actual name of the report, and the URL is at the bottom of the slide in case you wanted to read a little bit more. But I want to show this to you to give you just another additional resource to consider. Now, in this study, that was actually supported by our office, the Office of Indian Energy, and they looked at wind, solar photovoltaics, concentrating power, or CSP, woody biomass, biogas, geothermal, and hydropower. I highlighted the top line there. It's for the utility scale solar PV. The potential generation on tribal lands is about 5% of the total national generation potential. And when they consider all of the natural renewable resources together, the potential is up to 6.5% of the total national technical potential. Now, what I don't show on this slide that's in the report is when they consider an additional 10 miles beyond the current tribal land, the capacity from tribal land more than doubles of what's the potential of the national for renewable. So I invite you to look at that report there as an additional resource. It makes for interesting reading, I think. All right, so not that you don't know that there's solar resources available in New Mexico, but I wanted to highlight a tool that we have on our website was the Tribal Energy Atlas. And I zoomed in here on New Mexico for you to see. So this Energy Atlas, it's got different query that you can put on solar resources or wind, and also infrastructure and your transmission. So you can see what's the potential for developing energy for where you are. And it's available on our website. I provide the link down there. And if you have any trouble walking through this, it does provide a tutorial on there. I think it's a great tool. And I'll talk a little bit about more later here. Barriers to energy development. I look forward to hearing from Karen, Jake, and MJ a little bit later this afternoon on their work with MTerra and NREL are doing to identify and address specific barriers to tribal solar development and to build capacity to address those barriers. I will just give a brief mention to some of the general barriers that we have identified to energy development. These barriers include the inability of Indian tribes being a non-taxable entities that was just mentioned this morning to access federal tax incentives and maybe how to use that as an opportunity. The lack of access to capital and underdeveloped physical infrastructure has also been identified as some major obstacles or barriers. And again, I see barriers and problems and issues as opportunities to overcome. Saying that I don't always understand is what stands in the way becomes the way. And so sometimes I think I get that what that is saying. Additionally, based on a 2016 report conducted by my colleague, Dr. Tommy Jones, he asked tribes to identify what are some of the barriers. And the top three that were identified were funding and financing, infrastructure, and leadership turnover and limited internal capacity. You can read the full report that's available on our website. So more resources for you there. Okay, now on to a little bit about the Office of Indian Energy. As advocated for and by the tribes and incorporated into the Energy Policy Act of 2005, the Office of Indian Energy was set up in 2011. It is one of about a dozen assistant secretarial level offices within the Department of Energy. We have 12 employees duty stationed in Washington, D.C. You heard from our director, Wahala Johns, yesterday. And Golden, Colorado, that's where I'm located. And also we have 3 staff people in Anchorage, Alaska. The office was authorized again under EPACT of 2005, and it is charged by Congress to do 4 major things. Oops, oh. Okay, now I messed up and I can't go back. But I'm just mentioning what those 4 things are: to promote Indian energy development, efficiency and use, to reduce or stabilize energy costs, 3, to enhance and strengthen Indian tribal energy and economic infrastructure, and 4, to bring electrical power and service to Indian land and homes. All right, now I'm on the right slide here. And to achieve our mission to address some of the barriers that I talked about to energy development on tribal lands, our office offers financial assistance through competitive grants. That's the first. Sorry. Financial assistance through competitive grants, 2, technical assistance offered at no charge to Indian tribes and tribal entities that our Director Johns mentioned yesterday to you, and 3, education and capacity building. These 3 major areas are intended to assist Indian tribes and tribal entities overcome the unique regulatory, technical, and economic challenges to developing your vast energy resources. Under financial assistance, since 2010, the Office of Indian Energy has invested over $100 million in more than 190 tribal energy projects across the contiguous 48 states and Alaska. It's valued over $180 million. Through these grants, our office continues its efforts to be partners with Native communities to maximize the development of clean energy solutions for the benefit of American Indians and Alaska tribes. Okay, I'm zooming in on a little bit on the previous map that I just showed you onto New Mexico here on this slide. For the same period between 2010 to 2020, there are 7 projects that was supported by our office valued over $6.3 million. Now, if we include the projects that predate 2010, going back to 1994, when our work was actually under EERE, Energy Efficiency Renewable Energy, the number of projects actually increases to 20, valued at about $10 million. Our funding opportunities are competitive. It's very competitive. And for the deployment grants, the projects are intended to be shovel ready. Of the 637 applications that we accepted between 2010 and 2020, our office funded nearly 31% of all applications received, which is relatively high percentage if you compare to other awards under DOE, which is more like 5 or 10% of all applications. We have been fortunate to have funded so many projects, or as many projects as we have. However, since 2010, we have received over 440 applications valued over $455 million that we have not been able to fund. And hopefully with the new budgets that's passing, that will alleviate and help us to do more. This is just a graphic of what I just mentioned about the 637 awards. It's a breakdown by year and by percentage there that you can see. I'm going to give, in the next couple more slides, we'll break it down a little bit more for you. This slide here shows the distribution of project type by funding year. Since 2010, our office has been installing energy technology and infrastructure in communities for immediate positive benefits. As a result, 72% of all funding has been invested in development projects that install new generations, reduce energy consumption, electrify homes, or provide autonomous operations. You can also see the amount of funds provided each year there, which has averaged about 9.1 million per year, and it's a relatively small amount, but we think it's made significant impacts in many tribal communities and continues to provide benefits to those communities year after year for the life of the systems. Sorry, did I say I was a statistician earlier on? This slide, I think it's the last one with all the data here, shows the investment by technology type and by state. The majority of funds thus far have been provided for renewable energy and energy efficiency, although offerings have been technology and fuel neutral, something that I had to say for the past 4 years under our previous administration. We are seeing an increased interest in microgrids as such systems can provide communities autonomy, self-sufficiency, and resiliency. And it allows communities to mitigate the impacts of severe weather conditions and also emergency situations. Our office investments in energy hardware since 2010 equate to nearly $75 million. These projects are valued at over 140 million and have resulted in tangible results for over 90 American Indian and Alaska communities. A little bit more statistics for you here. More than 40 megawatts of new generations have been installed. More than I did it again. Oops. Sorry, I can't figure out how to use this clicker here. Oh, can you? Great. Oh, thank you. More than 40 megawatts of new energy generation installed. More than 7 megawatt hours of battery storage also installed. Over 12.6 million saved every year. Over 275 million saved over the system lifetime. $3.68 saved for every DOE dollar invested. And over 8,000 tribal buildings have been affected by our investment. Okay. Yay, okay, I'm on. This is the collage that I made of projects that we have supported in New Mexico. And you may have seen some of these photos in presentations from the Ute Mountain Ute and Piccaries yesterday. So I borrowed the pictures from them. Between 1994 and 2021, we supported 20 projects in New Mexico. The DOE share of these projects are almost $6 million. The cost share that was required from the pueblos and nations are about $4 million. So the total value of these projects are about $10 million. Just looking at the pictures there, we've got the Ute Mountain Ute commissioning that Scott had mentioned yesterday, back in March of 2020 when COVID shutdown started. Next one, the Santo Domingo water pump and I think treatment solar project that was in 2019. Then we've got the Pueblo of Jemez there. I think there were a couple of feasibility planning studies that we did. The Zia Pueblo, more feasibility planning studies. And on your right is the Piccaries Pueblo, the first phase, the phase one of the 1 megawatt project. And we're working with them on the second phase there. The next picture is Southern Ute. I know it's not in, it's your neighbor up north there, but I added that. Southern Ute, that's the solar project that we supported, and our former director, Kevin Frost, is in there in that picture. Next is Tohajli Shandin solar project back in 2016. Starting on the bottom right, the Jicarilla Apache Nation. I think there were 3 feasibility projects that we did. Pueblo of Laguna, also a few feasibility projects. And last but not least on the slide is the Pueblo Acoma. We supported in the utility formation and also provided technical assistance in strategic energy planning. Again, the TA at no cost to tribes. And I'll just mention that a little bit more later too. To learn more about these projects, you can read everything about them. In addition to all the projects that we have supported since 2010 on our website, we have a sortable project database table, interactive map, a summary of each and every project, the annual presentations that are required from our recipients every year, that's located on there as well. We have lots of resources and tools on our website. There is also a number of resources available that include the Energy Development Assistance Tool, which provides grant, loan, and technical assistance programs available from more than 10 federal agencies. We have current funding opportunities with energy-related funding from several resources, not just from DOE. And this page also includes ongoing opportunities and technical assistance sources. So please subscribe to our newsletters to receive email notifications of funding opportunities, upcoming events, and other tribal-related news. All right, I got my 10-minute note, so I'm gonna try to get through here. Technical assistance is what I want to talk about next. That's offered by our office, again, at no cost to tribes and eligible tribal entities, which includes providing technical advice and assistance from energy experts designed to help move your project forward or to help in your energy planning. Tribes are at various stages of energy development, from just beginning to create a vision of what they want their future to be, to quantifying energy resources, to the other end, which is the shovel-ready projects ready for funding. The technical assistance supports tribes and tribal communities regardless of where you are in your energy journey. By promoting technical and financial analysis or facilitating and assisting with energy planning. And technical assistance can be requested online through a website by completing really just a few simple questions. And taking a deeper look into the technical assistance offerings that we have on our website, you can look at and see what type of technical assistance may best suit what your community needs are. The three main types of technical assistance we offer are technical analysis, financial analysis, and strategic energy planning. And again, to request technical assistance at no cost, an authorized tribal representative can go to our website, review the different options that we offer, and submit a simple request through our website. And I think you can maybe talk to my friend Raymond Concho there. We've done the technical assistance, responded to your request to get his experience on it. We have completed 366 technical assistance requests between 2010 and 2020. And this chart here, the two pie charts show you the breakdown, between what we did for the 48 and Alaska, and the types of requests that we've responded to. And you can see the majority of that on the pie chart on the far right is the technical analysis. That's been the majority, but there's other areas too that are pretty significant. Informational resources that I wanted to provide to you. There's a wealth of information on our website. And you can access everything with the URL that's located at the bottom of the slide. That's energy.gov/Indian Energy. And the resources, one of the huge resource that we have is the Tribal Energy Atlas, where I showed you at the beginning, where I zoomed in on New Mexico. It's a first of its kind interactive geospatial application that enables tribes to conduct their own analysis of installed energy projects and resource potential on tribal lands. It's a fantastic tool, and it's got all these different layers on there, and you can go as nerdy and crazy as you like by adding transmission and all the different resources. It gets quite colorful if you add all those layers to it. One other resources that I came across and I want to provide to you is the Solar Future Study that just came out about a month ago. It's supported by DOE's Solar Energy Technology Office with NREL. And the key findings in here is that with aggressive cost reductions, supported policies, and large-scale electrification, solar could account for as much as 40% of the nation's electricity supply by 2035 and up to 45% by 2050. And I thought it was interesting reading because I think it could be implications to future policies and support for solar projects. So sort of like tea leaf reading, maybe, if you like to take a look at that. Here's a screenshot of our website that I wanted to show you. You can sign up for our newsletter on this landing page to get all the news on our office as well as other things that are going on. Also to access the technical assistance that I talked about. And I circled the top tabs there. You just click on that and pull it down, and that's where you'll locate some of those resources. And two invitations before I leave you here. We are working on an energy access and reliability report, which is mandated by Congress as part of the Energy Act of 2020. And we like to invite you to participate in a listening session on energy access and reliability on tribal lands. This is an opportunity for tribal leaders and people who know the energy situation in their communities to make recommendations on developing the report as well as subsequent findings. So please, if you, I invite you to contribute and join us in that conversation. And to do that, just send information, your contact information to indianenergy@hq.doe.gov. That's on that slide there. The second invitation I'd like to make to you is to come to our 2021 program review. Unfortunately, it's going to be virtual again this year for the second year, just to be extra safe. But normally it's an opportunity for a lot of people. It's not just for our recipients to report on their projects, but it's for people to meet and share lessons learned, what to do, what not to do. And then one more thing that just popped up on my screen that I didn't get a chance to add in here is on Monday, there is a workshop on tribal community scale solar solutions for climate and community resiliency. And Janya Gagnon from Blue Lake Rancheria is leading that conversation. So I'm sorry I don't have it up there, but if you come and talk to me later, I'll share that information. I can even forward you the information on that. I think that should be an interesting conversation. All right. I want to thank you, tribal leaders, for leading, for your leadership. I also want to thank you, the followers who are in the trenches working, making it happen. I think without followers, there would not be leaders. So I thank you for that. And I think we've heard a lot of why and what to do. And I hope the information that I provided to you helps with the how to do it. Thank you.